new drinks are now at McDonald's. With refreshers like the Strawberry Watermelon Refresher and the Mango Pineapple Refresher with popping boba. To crafted sodas like the Sprite Berry Blast with berry flavors and cold foam. Who knew ice cold drinks could be so fire? Try them all now at McDonald's.
Refreshers contain caffeine. Copyright 2026, The Coca-Cola Company. Sprite is a registered trademark of The Coca-Cola Company.
This episode is brought to you by Prime. What if you had one more chance with the one that got away?
Sam,
you came home.
Based on the best-selling novel from Carly Fortune. Every year after follows childhood friends Sam and Percy as they reunite in the dreamy, nostalgic lakeside town of Barry's Bay.
Love can be hard to find. So if you're lucky enough to find that person, never let go.
A second chance at first love. Every year after, now streaming only on Prime.
Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I felt like it was needed to explain why that was a good stretch by the way, but anyways, I don't know why I just feel the need to stretch when I get ready to do a podcast episode, a video. It's crazy. It was like I never did that when I was younger. I feel like as I get older I got to prepare myself for when I start recording content. It's weird, bro. But anyways, no, I wanted to talk on why I haven't changed my name, and I've had my content creating name, I should say, not my actual government name, but no, my content creating name, because that's one thing that I do see a lot with creators, that when they get caught up in some controversy, they do change their name. They have like a rebranding and stuff. Excuse me. And I know like that's something where it's like, just talking on my own issues that, it would have made sense. Like I wasn't that big of a content creator, so I should have just abandoned my, I guess, TMossBoss area of the internet and just start fresh. That's the thing. I didn't want to start fresh. I didn't want to come up with a new name. I didn't want to rebrand myself. None of that. The thing is this. When I look at, I guess, what I have built as a content creator, as an entertainer, I don't look at any mistakes that I have made. Everything that I've done, I wanted to do. So when it comes down to reaction videos, when it comes down to gaming videos, when it comes down to me just sitting around talking on a bunch of random stuff, voiceovers, all of it, all the stuff that I've done, I do not regret none of it. The only thing that I would say that I do regret is feeding into negative attention, because that's the thing with negative attention. Usually it's just more negative things is going to follow afterwards. I've never heard of, I guess, like, sometimes for the person dealing with the negative attention, there might be a positive outcome. I would say that there was a positive outcome, with the negatives, I guess, people in my comment sections and just, just stalking me, harassing me and all that stuff. They did disappear after a certain point with, my content creating career. And, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I guess, like, I can't, throw a parade and go all crazy over it, because that's the thing. If I were quitting content creating, but I'm like, I don't know, I still feel like it wouldn't be satisfying. Like, that's the thing. Haters is always going to exist. That's one thing that I've learned throughout my time being a content creator. It doesn't matter what you say, it doesn't matter what you do. You could be the most positive, outgoing person on the internet, and people are still going to find a reason to hate on you, dig up dirt on you. They want to go through your tweets and find different tweets to read about. Like, I'll never forget, I remember a guy, he recorded a video of himself doing that, and it wasn't even like tweets where I could get canceled. This man was just looking at my latest tweets, and it was tweets that wasn't even worth. The thing is this, if you're going to do a video, I guess, exposing somebody or reading their tweets and stuff, at least let it be some tweets that can actually, like, oh man, I forgot all about that tweet and stuff. So if I could, I guess, like, place an example. So let's just say I make a tweet saying, oh, I'm trying out this new restaurant in Seattle. He would do a video talking about that, and I'm thinking to myself, you don't find absolutely nothing weird with that. You're sitting in your living room eating a TV dinner, Probably not even, well, obviously you're not watching TV if you're doing a video about me, but you're eating a TV dinner, doing a TMossBoss tweet reading video. Yeah, bro, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, you gotta really sit down and look at yourself in the mirror. Well, you ain't really sitting down in the bathroom, so stand up, okay, get away from the TV dinner, get away from your computer, go in the mirror, look at yourself, take a good look at yourself. Is this the person? I guess my question is let's say you have kids, they come home from school and that's the stuff that they see you doing. You know, it's like you got all these kids that they go into school. Your kid gonna get bullied. I'm just saying, if you sitting around doing TMossBoss hate videos, your kid is going to get bullied. Okay, I guarantee and I promise you that. Because my thing is this, right? Let's just lay out this scenario. You're doing that video. Kid comes home from school. They see you doing that video. They go back and tell their friends. Obviously, in this day and age, kids is going to have access to the internet. They look it up. They see what kind of videos that your son, the dad, they see what you're doing. Your kid has to go back to that school. I don't think you understand that. And that's why a lot of them, I feel like that, you know, yeah, they don't have responsibilities like that. They're like, oh, we don't plan on having kids. We don't plan on this. Like, yeah, I can see why. I think that if you guys were to reproduce and spawn people like you, yeah, this world will be doomed. Okay, I will say that much. So yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, don't have kids. Don't reproduce. Don't do that. I'm like, don't do that to the world. We already got a lot of bad people walking around. We don't need more. So it's one of those things. I know people might feel like, you know, oh, that's disrespectful, that's wrong to say. When you've dealt with these people for 10 years, trust me, it is the right thing to say. I guess, like, yeah, you know, if you're on the outside looking in, this is your first time ever really hearing me talk about haters and stuff. Yeah, no, it can it could sound a little disrespectful, but again, if you have dealt with these guys for 10 years, trust me, it's something that is just going to go in one ear and out the other. They're not going to care. I guess, like, let's just say if I were to go viral with this podcast episode and everybody was talking about how disrespectful I would be, then that's when they would try to play that whole act of, you know, like, oh, I want to have kids one day. And that episode, it traumatized me, it affected me so much. It's like, they're not affected and traumatized. You know, that's the thing. If they say it and they're acting like they're in a Lifetime movie, trust me, they're not traumatized. It's like, you know, you can tell when a person is acting in a video and then when a person is just, you know, being themselves or being serious and things. Like, for an example, me right now, I'm being myself, but if I'm talking like this and I'm acting a certain way and I'm, you know, making my voice sound all Beethoven like and all drama and, you know, and all it's one of those things where it's like, fam, anybody should be able to hear that person, hear or see, depending on what kind of form of content you're looking at. You should be able to know when that person's acting and stuff. So yeah, that's one thing about it. It's like, when I've seen videos done about me over the years, and just, you know, and getting back to that, just seeing my name attached to it, you know, that's the thing. Like, I can't escape from TMossBoss. I can't escape from that name. Like, I have built that name from the ground up. Like, and that was, you know, and the crazy thing about it is like the origins of that name. That's why I love my content creating name so much, is because the origins of it, honestly, I was just creating an account on the whatchamacallit, the iCarly website, and then that's when the name came to mind. I was like, nah, I gotta run with this name. I used it for PlayStation, I used it for my Xbox account, I used it for my Steam account, I used it for just about everything, you know. So it's like, it's an easy name to find. It's an easy name to remember. It ain't no crazy difficult name. At times people, you know, they treat it like it's a crazy difficult name, but it's really not, you know. So that's why I'm like, I don't really see a need of changing it. You know, for one, I'm like, there ain't no reason to change it, but two, it's like, I can't escape from it. Like I was saying, it's like, I can change my name and go either by my government name. I can, you know, I guess have like a nickname surrounding my first name or middle name or last name. Like, there's a bunch of different names I could go with, but at the same time, then, you know, that's another thing too. I'm not good with names. Like, TMossBoss was like a jackpot prize. Like, that was like a jackpot name. Like, cause I really don't know. I guess like just the the wordplay and the flow of it and stuff, like, and then, you know, just how it looks on merch and all that. I'm like, yeah, you know, it does like, you know, have like a nice tone to it and things. But yeah, and I'm like, and I can't think of any other names, but you know, again, I can't escape from it. It's like one of those things where it's like, it's going to stick with me. Even if I do decide to go by another name, people are still going to be calling me TMossBoss and stuff. So yeah, that's why I'm like, there's no way possible for me to escape from that name, but I wouldn't even want to escape from that name, you know, to have it where I've done so much with the name that it's definitely a name that I'm going to live and die with. I'm like, I just don't see a reason, you know, to at any given point in time change it. You know, it's like I have this name on merch, I have it on a YouTube play button, what else, you know, I have it on a pair of sneakers, bro. Like it's like I've done way too much with this name. That's like telling somebody like Hulk Hogan, maybe that might be a bad idea, I guess, you know, for my dark-skinned individuals out there, my African American families and stuff. Yeah, they might not want to hear that name, but even then though, still, like, you don't see that man going by any other name, you know. Like, he even found ways of working with his name, like the stage name. He found like ways to, you know, work with it where it was like, what was it, like Hollywood Hulk Hogan or Hollywood Hogan or something like that. So yeah, or I guess, you know, somebody a little bit more likable, John Cena, you know. I think, yeah, John Cena is his government name. You know, it doesn't really sound like it should be a government name, but no, yeah, I remember looking that up, and that is his government name. So I was like, wow, I don't know, I remember looking that up, and I was like, I just wasn't expecting that. You know, you see so many different people out there where it's like but I feel like wrestling, that's like such a good example, because when you look at a lot of different wrestlers out there that have changed their names, like Edge, for an example, you know, currently right now he's going by I think, what is it, like Adam, because I know Adam Copeland is his real name, and I think for a minute he was trying to go by Cope. And it's like, no, bro, we still know of you as Edge. Like, now, yes, we will call you by your government name. Like, when we learned that information, then yeah, it's like, you know, it's like, oh, okay, you know, him being a part of AEW, he is gonna go a part of his government name. By the way, that's one of those like changes in wrestling where it still shocks me. Like, you know, you think this man's going to retire with WWE, you just don't really see him with no other companies and stuff. So it's like, yeah, because I think he did start with WWE. I feel like, hold on for a second, let me look that up real quick, because I feel like that he should have early. Yeah, I feel like that. Early career. Oh, so he was kind of doing like that, like indie stuff. But I feel like he made a name for himself when he got into WWE. I mean, he's been with the company, he was with the company from 1996 all the way up until 2023. So it was like he stayed with that. I mean, he retired with that company at one point, and then he came back, and then was still. I'm like, you know, it's just, yeah, it trips me out. But again, a lot of people, they probably still call him Edge. Same with Mercedes Moné. I think now that's what Sasha Banks is going by. But yeah, people still be calling her Sasha Banks. Same with Jon Moxley. People still call him Dean Ambrose. You know, where it's like, it's not. Their new names is just not as fitting, unless if it's their government name, then okay. But if it's some random name that just came up out of nowhere, yeah, bro, like that. There was the one wrestler, I think they was like calling her Dewdrop or something like that, and that was like some old weird nickname that they gave her, and I'm like, fam, that just to me just doesn't sound like that should be her actual name and stuff. And I think, yeah, Piper Niven, I think that was her name. It was funny because I was looking up whatchamacallit, Chelsea Green, because I know there was like, she formed a tag team with her, and dang, that's like really, it's there, yeah, because it was like Alba Fry or something. I don't know, but anyways, but yeah, she was with the company for a little bit, and they just randomly released her and stuff. Weird. But Piper Niven and things. I'm like, yeah, it was like they called her Dewdrop, and I'm like, what does that even mean? That just doesn't even sound like a normal name and stuff. And I'm like, nah, that's not fitting. Whatever her name was before, yeah, even if it was like a name that, you know, I would rather hear Piper Niven than Dewdrop. It just don't sound right, you know. So that's another thing thing too. I just feel like that a new name for me just wouldn't sound right. So yeah, that's why I was like, going through the drama and all that stuff. I'm like, there's, I can't escape it. I guess I could, start fresh somewhere else, but I'm like, okay, I got to start all from the beginning, and then to have it where it's like, okay, let's say I do start all over with content creating, go rebrand myself, change the content, all that. I ain't trying to do all of that. My thing is this. I want to start up, a day of work when it comes down to streaming, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever. I want to start up the day as TMossBoss, record a bunch of videos, play a bunch of games on my live stream, record some more videos, record some podcast episodes. I want to do the most with the name in a span of 24 hours. I want to do the most with that name. And I ain't trying to, I have to rebrand myself, come up with new content. I'm like, and all the different content that I have done, it's like, and that's the thing, I can't really change my appearance or my voice. So people are going to recognize me regardless. Yeah, let's say I do go by, I don't know, like, I'm trying to think of a new nickname and stuff. Yeah, I can't, like, it's just, I'm not good with names. Like I said, TMossBoss was like a jackpot name, so that's why I'm like, yeah, I can't think of no other names besides that. But yeah, overall though, I'm like, I'm fine with, I guess, like, going, because I guess, like, I don't be doing things to, I guess, like, get people so upset and riled up. I feel like that, people kind of just set themselves up to get upset and all riled up when it comes down to anything's related to me. So that's why I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm good with the name TMossBoss. If I was gonna change it, I had changed it a long time ago. And I'm like, and the funny thing is, at one point in time, I did change my name. I changed it to where it was TMossBoss. Originally, I think I was going by my government name, and I'm like, nah, because there's a lot of, like, Tylers out there and stuff. I'm like, nah, bro, I gotta do something different, So yeah, man, I'm like, I gotta stick with TMossBoss and things. But yeah, there's just people out there where it's like, it's, I guess, escaping from the drama. That's just, drama is gonna be any and everywhere. So that's why I'm like, there ain't really a whole lot of hiding and running away that I can do. I'm like, I just gonna have to live with it and stuff. So, but anyways, with that being said, I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow or subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.